You open your eyes and raise your head. You're standing in a dark alley between two massive skyscrapers. Your ocular implants sort of focus in, and you're able to sort of compensate for the dark light, the haze of neon that's covering the whole city, and then the lights from nearby office towers make you able to make things out fairly clearly in the dark here. But it's clearly late at night. Give me a perception check.
15.
You glance around and you notice that the pavement by your right foot is sort of like marked up.
Marked up how?
You would need to like bend down to get a closer look at it.
Okay. Then I'll investigate it more closely.
You bend down to look at it and you see that there's a circle in the ground and like chips out from the circle. In the center of the circle is a crumpled bullet.
Okay.
You then glance at your right leg and you see that some of like the concrete powder that gets shot up when someone busts concrete, some of that dust is on your right leg.
So, implying that I was almost hit.
I don't know.
All right. How am I feeling physically?
Physically, you were feeling not 100%. You feel a little bit of like an aching pain in your chest, and you feel a tightness as though there's like something sort of pressed across your chest, like constricting a little bit, like there are bandages there.
Okay.
Mechanically, you are at 28 hit points.
Do I recognize my surroundings?
Give me a local expert.
15 again.
Buildings this tall, you're probably in the corporate zone, but you can't necessarily place like what buildings you're by.
Okay. Is that close to my house?
It is not, no.
It is not. Okay. What's the last thing that I remember?
The last thing you remember is what was described in that first message. So it's going to go to the Ripper Dock, getting put under, and then now you've just opened your eyes and you're here.
Okay. And where was the Ripper Dock's place?
You're not sure.
You're not sure. Okay.
You remember that you went through a station that was named after a tree on the end cart, which is the subway.
Okay, yeah, I see that in that case. Okay, I'll pull out my personal assistant.
Okay, give me another perception check.
Right. 19.
As you pull out your assistant, first, the screen is still black, but you see at the top there is a light sort of flashing that you have some sort of unseen notification. You like hold it up, getting ready to turn it on. You see a flash of light reflect in the screen of your agent that flashes off something above you.
Flashes off something above me?
Yeah. So the light source is above you.
Okay. Like something heading my way, or like what?
Hard to say without looking.
Okay, I will turn to look.
You glance up and you see the barrel of a rifle pointed out of the window of the building to your left, about 20 feet, it's probably about 10 stories up. So you can see it. You see that the end of the barrel is covered in a silencer, and you can tell that the light that you saw was like glinting off the scope of this rifle.
Okay. Is there any cover nearby?
No, this alleyway is empty. There's like some trash bags scattered around, but probably not good to hide under.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to attempt to zigzag my way out of the alley.
Give me an evasion check.
Okay.
And I'm going to roll a ranged attack for this person with a gun.
All right. 14.
Okay. You duck and weave down the alleyway, and as you are just about to turn the corner outside the alleyway, you hear the of the silencer, like silencing a shot,
Mm-hmm.
and you are hit in the back you
Oof.
feel the bullet go through you for 11 damage.
Okay.
And you sort of stagger around the corner, but you have broken line of sight with this shooter because they're in a building. They can't aim around the edge of it.
Right. Sure.
Your armor is also ablated down to 7. As you look at your armor, you see that there are 3 other holes in the front. And so your previous health was 28, so your current health.
17.
So you were still above half, so you're not at a negative to checks yet.
Okay. So, kind of staggering my way around the corner, and what am I seeing?
So you stagger around the corner, you glance to your left and right, you see that you are at a cross street between several just massive corporate towers.
Mm-hmm.
You see that to your left, the building the gunman is in has a sign at the front that says Tet Ik, and below it has some kanji that you cannot read. Also, on this same plaza, there is a building for Biotechnica. There is a building for Arasaka. There is a building for Militech. Those are the 4 closest buildings.
Okay. And what does Biotechnica do?
Give me a education roll.
Okay. 12.
12. Some sort of drug thing. You're not really sure.
Okay. Are there any windows on the side of the building that I just came around? Of the TEDx building?
There are windows. It is unclear if they open.
Okay.
Because it's like, you can't normally open the windows on a skyscraper, right?
Yeah, right. Okay. So I'll stay. I think I want to stay against the face of that building and keep heading forward.
Okay, sort of like skirting around the edge of the building.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you trying to be stealthy?
Not stealthy, just hard to hit from a sniper's position if they were in that building.
Where are you trying to go?
That's a good question. I need to get...
Oh, I'm also going to need a luck check from you when you got hit.
10.
You said 10?
Yeah.
Okay, you pass. Next
Right.
time you need an 11.
What am I thinking about right now? I need to get somewhere safe where I can heal myself up. Is there a safe house I know of nearby?
Give me a local expert roll, but it's going to be quite hard.
Okay. No, it's I think that's a nat 1.
You have no idea.
I have
Like
no
you
idea.
don't spend much time in this area at all.
Okay.
With the stress of that, give me another luck roll. As you sort of
Sure.
panicking on the edge of the building.
All right. 9.
Okay, that's your first strike.
Okay.
Next time you need a 12. So you're here on the edge of the building.
Okay.
Give me a perception check at a -3 to look up the edge of the building and see like what you can figure out about the windows.
At a -3.
Yeah, just as like the distance and.
It's a nat 10.
Okay, roll the second time.
So 19.
Your eyes sort of like cone in, and you look up the side of the skyscraper. You get a pretty good sense that either these windows won't open, or if they open, it will take a while. The longer you stay here hanging out in front of the building, the more time there is for the person with the gun to like get one of them open if they can.
Okay. Then I'm going to, let's see. Can I take off running and consult my assistant at the same time?
Sure. So you sprint off. Where are you trying to run to?
I'm running in the direction of Militech, I guess.
Okay. You're running towards the Militech compound. You pull out your agent and turn it on. You look at it. You see you have one new message.
Okay. I'll try to glance down at it.
Go ahead.
When I
As you're
can.
running, you glance down. You see that it is a message from yourself. and you see that it's actually the latest in a chain of messages,
Uh-huh.
and it is a very long chain. You cannot read it while running.
Okay. Can I read the first message?
You would be reading the most recent message.
Yeah. Sorry, the most recent one.
You have enough time to scan it and get the gist. You read something about Tet-Ik, that you think Tet-Ik is after you, and something about a Shinji Tetsuo.
Shinji Tetsuo. Okay.
You also read something about an explosion at Biotechnica. There's more. There's obviously more there, but you'll need to stop and read it. So you're running towards Militech. You've got this information from your agent. What is your next step?
First I should see how much I know about Militech.
Yeah, give me a education roll.
Okay. Another nat 1.
Another nat 1. I mean, they were one of the people in the Fourth War, right? Like, they're probably not a good person to turn to. They seem quite violent.
Okay. So I don't want to. Okay.
With that sort of sense of panic, give me another luck roll.
Sure. Nat 10.
Nat 10. Perfect. You pass.
Okay. In that case, wait, so Arasaka is one of the big corporations also?
You can give me another education check to see. But yes, you, the player, know that Arasaka is another big corporation.
Okay.
Their tower is noticeably smaller than the other 3 towers, but still huge.
Okay. And this is an education role?
Yep.
Okay. 12.
I mean, you know that Arasaka was one of the two people in the corporate war. You know it's primarily a military arms company. You had heard something about like this being their new building in town since their old headquarters got blown up.
Okay. So, seeing that I saw a message about Biotechnica, about there being an explosion there, I'm going to look at the building, the Biotechnica building that's closest to me.
Sure. Give me a perception check.
Okay. 19.
You look up the side of the Biotechnica building and you see that probably 20 stories up, there is a spot on the side of the building that the construction is sort of noticeably like shinier than the rest of it. It's almost like this one circle of the building, while identical in construction, has sort of a mirror sheen to it, like it's brand new. And there's a slight outline of like a circle of dust and particulate. It's almost as though this section is new and has been replaced, and you can see like the remaining scorch marks around the outside. It's
Okay.
fairly faint, but it's there. Also, you sort of glance around, you see one other tower. It's one block over, but that might be useful.
Mm-hmm.
You see the NCN tower is also like nearby.
Oh, okay. Maybe Jessica's at work. Is it nighttime?
It is nighttime.
Okay. All right. I'll head for NCN.
Okay. You make your way over to NCN. As you approach the sort of front of their compound, a news van like speeds out of a garage, and then you approach up to their front desk where a security guard asks you for identification.
I'm a friend of Jessica's. I need to speak to her.
Give me a persuasion check. This will be kind of hard because you're just a rando on the street.
Okay. But I'm cool. Boy, I got a thing for 12s.
The guard, she sort of shakes her head and she says, I can't just be letting in everyone off the street. You know, everyone could say they know a reporter.
Listen, just talk to her, okay? Tell her Arminio needs to see her.
She looks skeptically and she's like, I don't think the reporters here are associating with street dreck like you, and sort of waves you away.
Listen, maybe I've been going about this the wrong way. I dig around in my pockets.
Sure. So in your pockets, you find your agent where you stash it, and you find your wad of cash, considerably lighter than the last time you saw it. There are only 47 Eurobucks.
47 Eurobucks?
Yep.
And what does that translate to, like in our money?
in our money, it's like roughly similar. The context I keep using is it costs 30 euro to eat like very shitty food for a week.
Okay. I. All right. I'll hand her 20 euro bucks.
Okay, give me a bribery check.
Okay. 18.
She sees the cash in your hand, looks sort of one way or the other, and then she like quickly takes it from you and motions you through the door.
Okay.
You step inside the front lobby of the NCN compound. There is a bit of a waiting area with like some nice squishy couches and chairs. There's a front desk which appears to be empty. Like there's no chair behind it. It's just a desk. And periodically you see a NCN security guard walk by. They're wearing almost like mall cop style uniforms. Their uniforms are much less intimidating than when you were outside, you would have glanced and probably seen some of the corpo security.
Mm-hmm.
The corpo security is all wearing like full body suit, synthetic armor, major helmets and all sorts of OGs. So these
Sure.
guys are sort of the Paul Blart Mall Cop equivalent.
How noticeable is it that I've been shot in the back?
Your coat is keeping most of the like red there, but if you sit on a chair, you may wind up like leaving a wet spot if you do it for too long.
Okay. Is there maybe a signboard that would say people's, room numbers or something like that?
There is not. There is just the front desk.
Okay. So there's a receptionist there?
There is not. There's no one behind the desk.
There's no one behind the desk. Okay. I will take a look over the counter behind the desk.
As you walk up to the counter, a blue hologram like flashes in and a projected man sitting in a projected chair appears behind the counter and says in a chipper voice, "Welcome to Night City News."
Hi, I'm a friend of Jessica Flanagan's. I need to get in touch with her.
Well, let me just check the old directory for you, partner. And the hologram like mimes typing on a fake keyboard. Well, she's up on the studio in 23A. I think she just got off a shoot.
Thanks, I say, and brush past him.
You brush like through him a little bit if you do that. But as soon as you turn and walk away, the hologram disappears.
Cool.
You do also now have time that you could sit and check your agent if you would like.
Okay. Is there like an elevator that I can get into, or?
Yes, although this is a long enough message that you probably can't read it all in the elevator.
Okay, I'll sit down and take a look at the message then.
So you sit down for a moment on one of these chairs and read out the sort of history of messages to yourself and scrawl out a new one. You stand back up to go up the elevator, and there is an unfortunate red spot that you have left on the chair where you sat.
Okay. Is there anyone else around?
No.
I guess there are security cameras, but I won't look around for them. I'm just going to assume that they're there. I'm going to stand up and go to the elevator.
All right. You step into the elevator. It opens, and you punch in, ride up the elevator, and step out into a floor that is clearly like a newsroom. So there are several sort of sets laid out. Like there's a desk for like the main anchors to sit. There's a sort of weather green screen, that sort of thing. And you look around the room, you see people milling about, like production assistants. You see there's an area of the room dedicated to an editing office. And you see Jessica talking to someone holding a large camera, standing over close to the editing office. They're like shoulder holding the camera.
Okay, so they're not using it right now?
No. They just seem to be like talking.
All right. How close am I to her?
You're across the room, like 10 meters or so.
Okay, I'll just kind of go, Jessica, give him a little wave.
She glances over at you. She waves back and looks at you sort of quizzically, and then you see her sort of do the whole like one moment, like end the conversation to the cameraman, and then she walks over your way. You see on her face an expression of concern as you come over. She says, what are you doing here? I just saw your messages. It looks like something serious is happening.
I didn't know where else to go. I just got shot at.
Fuck. And she finally gets a closer look at you and, holds your shoulders, like looks around, sees your back. She's like, oh God, yeah. You got hit?
It's not the worst bullet I've ever taken, but it's pretty bad.
Most people don't take bullets, so it's not really a list I would be proud of. I think we've
Life
got like
of a fixer, right?
Yeah, you might need to fix your own life after this whole thing, Sarah. I think we've got like a first aid kit in the break room. We should, hurry over there and at least try and get this like steeped up.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
So she leads you over across the floor to a like fluorescently lit break room. There's a fridge, a water cooler, shelves full of snacks, and she grabs a first aid kit that's mounted to the wall, and she's going to try and give you first aid. You can give me a tech roll to help with this.
Tech roll? Okay.
Yeah.
11.
So it's 12 after your +1 bonus.
Nice.
Between the two of you, you are mostly able to like stop up the bleeding. You're not going to be more hurt, but you are not. You should probably go try and see like a real medical provider before you try and like rest it off.
Okay, cool.
And she says, so what's going on? I got 2 texts from you. They were sort of back to back and sounded serious, but I don't really have a lot of context.
What's going on? That's the question I should be asking you. What's happening to me, Jess?
I mean, I'm not sure. You've been in touch with me all week. You were out. You went on that whole mission to try and find the doc, and then he was on vacation. He wasn't on vacation. You did some grand heist thing. I guess now you're back here, and you just sent me 2 messages about Tet-Ik. Did you see what they were? Have you looked back at your agent since then?
No.
You pull up your agent and you see your text history with Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
This one didn't like have a notification because there wasn't a waiting message to be read.
Right.
But you see sort of 2 chunks of messages. One is from a sort of 3-day period of time from 9/9 to 9/11, where Jessica sent you a text like telling you about the explosion at the Biotechnica building, and then the fact that it sounded like people were trying to cover it up. And then you see a more recent text series from this night that you sent, but she has not responded to. You only sent them like 15 minutes ago. And it's 2 messages.
Okay.
The first says, Tet-Ik is after me. Be careful. These are messages you sent.
Yeah.
And then you sent a message saying that Arasaka is the parent company of Tet-Ik.
Okay. I don't remember sending you any of those messages.
You blacked out again?
Seems like I blacked out 13 times.
No, it has to be less than that because there was that whole 3-day period where you had your memory and we were talking. What makes you think it's 13?
Just the fact that they're numbered.
Certain versions of you have to have sent multiple, but I don't know if there's a way to tell who sent what.
I see. All right. Well, from what I'm reading about what I sent to myself, Tet-Ik is after me for some reason. Arasaka's behind it all. And I need to find somebody named Shinji Tetsuo.
She's going to roll an education check to see if she knows this person. She says, I don't know that I've heard of them. Do you know, like, where he works?
He's head of acquisition at Tet-Ik.
When you say that, she looks concerned. She says, well, I don't know the person, but I mean, a title like that sounds like someone that does some dangerous stuff, like someone I
Yeah,
wouldn't want to mess with.
typically I would want to stay pretty far away from this guy, but I need to figure out what happened to me.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Well, I need to rest here for a little bit, just a couple minutes, gather my thoughts.
Sure, yeah. There's water in the cooler over there if you need some. Uh, I packed like a light lunch if you need to take it.
Thanks. I'll buy you lunch next time.
No, you won't. But
No, I won't.
she smiles and then begins to walk away, turns back and says, "You're gonna be good here?
I'll take care of myself.
All right, don't get into too much trouble. Oh, and I haven't had a chance to talk to anyone about that request you had.
Request?
Yeah, earlier tonight you wanted me to hunt around, see if there was any netrunner that you could hire.
Did I say why?
Sounded like you were trying to look for someone to hack into Biotechnica's systems. I'm not sure why you wanted to do it, but that was what the plan was.
Hack into Biotechnica, huh? Okay.
I mean, it sounds like we talked about it before all this TEDx stuff happened, so I don't know if that changes the plan or not,
I suppose
or
we
if it's
should.
related. I have no idea.
Well, I don't know if the. I heard there was an explosion at Biotechnica. Do you know anything about that?
You say that, and she sort of like shushes you, and she's like, "Voice down, voice down."
All right.
Yeah, it was right across the street. It happened late at night on the 9th. Like it happened overnight. I sent you a text that next day. Yeah, there was some hole like blown in the side of the building, like someone had detonated explosives up there.
Hmm. You don't think that could be related to the whole TEDx situation, do you?
I'm not sure. I mean, I know they're competitors, right? Uh, they both work on the same stuff. So, I mean, I wouldn't rule out some espionage, but I have no idea.
Well, that's a good enough reason for me to take a look around.
Be careful out there. I mean, I know it was dangerous with those gangers you were dealing with, but corpos are on another level.
Don't worry. You trust me, right?
I would trust your reassurances a lot more if you weren't bleeding on my floor.
Get out of here, Jess. I'll be fine.
She gives you like a very soft hug, like carefully avoiding the area where you were shot, and then she turns and leaves the room.
Okay. After that conversation with Jessica, I'm going to take a look through my phone to see any other people that I've sent texts to recently.
The only people you have sent messages to in the last week are yourself and Jessica.
Just myself and Jessica.
Yep.
Okay. Have I texted Miles at all? What was the last text I sent to him?
You sent some text to him like the same day that you got the implants, which was within the last week. You got the implants on the 7th, I believe. There's like a string of sort of texts that day to Miles, just like asking, "Where are you?" Like gradually sort of get more panicked. But there's never any response, and you clearly stopped sending.
Okay. And now that I'm here in a safe spot, can I take the time to like locate the nearest medical facility, or is that not possible without the internet?
It's not possible without the internet.
Okay.
You could go down and use a data term on the street corner and look one up there, or you could try talking to someone.
I should probably have asked Jessica.
If you want to give me a,
That's fine.
if you want to give me a flat intelligence check.
Sure. Flat intelligence. 12.
You actually here. Let me roll something for you. You feel your agent like vibrate in your pocket, like you have an incoming call.
I look at it.
It just says work.
Work. Okay, I'll answer it and I'll say Arminio.
Who the fuck is Arminio? I want to talk to Sarah. Is there Sarah on the line?
I think you must have the wrong number.
I have a contact information for Sarah Feliz. I don't believe I have the wrong number. You need to inform her that she has not shown up to work for several days and that her employment is set to be terminated.
I'll pass that along to her if I ever see her.
See that you do. We are a top-tier medical provider service, and we will not be treated this way by our employees. And the line clicks off.
Shit. That was my actual work.
Yeah.
All right. And
you recognize that voice as Janice, by the way, your boss.
That's Janice? Okay. And she said that I hadn't been into work for a couple days?
Yes.
Okay. All right. In that case, how much do I remember about... my memory only started rebooting like last week, right? So I still know everything about my job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where is that building?
You wouldn't normally go in to work at the building because you normally, like, you're a telemarketer, you do it all remotely from your agent.
Okay.
But if you give me a local expert role, and I'll give you a plus one because it's your actual job to see if you can locate like where in Night City their building is.
Intelligence +1?
Education +1.
Education +1, okay. 17.
You know that the actual like headquarters for AA is at the very outskirts of the corporate area in this like sort of dumpy, squat little office tower.
And the outskirts are not notably within safe.
Yeah, you would still be within the like corporate zone, so a relatively safe area, presuming whoever was shooting at you earlier doesn't chase you.
Okay.
But it's not like you're going to run into gangs or something, probably.
Now, I'm wondering why my boss would call me at 1 a.m. Has that ever happened before?
I don't think this would have happened before, no.
So either they're very worried.
Give me another intelligence check, though.
All right.
Or actually, give me a human perception check, but at a -2 because it's over the phone.
At a -2, okay.
Yeah.
15.
15. It sounded like Janice was itching for a fix of something.
Itching for a fix, huh? Like
yeah. Not all of your business is completely savory at the best of times.
And does she know that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'll go to Janice. Maybe she's a lead.
Okay. It's going to be a long walk, but it's potentially a doable walk, but it's going to be a long walk.
Okay.
The plan is walk?
The plan is, I mean, unless they have cyber Uber.
You can hail a taxi. It will just cost you cash.
How much, generally?
Well, you spent 20 earlier, right?
I have 27 left.
Yeah. It's going to cost you probably €5 to hail like a ground car to take you there.
Okay. I think that's worth spending the money on.
Okay. You go ahead and hail down a passing taxi. It's one of the few ground cars in this area of the city. Most of the traffic in the like true heart of the corporate zone like this is all Aerodyne, like it's flying over your head.
Mm-hmm.
But you found one sort of junker cab still running through this area, willing to take you over to the outskirts of this just squat brown tower. It has a logo on the side, is like a caduceus staff in front of a shield, and it says Asclepius Armory, but the S of Asclepius is sort of like hanging half askew.
Nice.
It took about half an hour to get there, so it's like 1 a.m.
Okay.
Or 1:10.
All right.
You step out of the cab in front of this squat building. What do you do?
I call Janice back.
The phone rings. So you're calling an office line, by the way. It's not like her personal agent.
Okay, sure.
It rings and she says, "Hello,
It's Sarah.
Sarah. How wonderful to hear from you. You've been missing for so long. We were so deeply worried."
Yes, I can hear it in your voice, Sarah. So listen, why'd you really call me?
Shh. 4th floor. Come on up to my regular office. We'll talk about it there.
I hang up.
And do you head on up to
Yes,
Janice's office?
I'll head up to the 4th floor.
Okay. You step inside. The 4th floor is the top floor of this building.
It would be really funny to just blow her off, but I'm not going to do that.
And I can't believe you would want to blow off my most wonderful NPC of all, Janice. You don't even know her last name.
No, I don't. But I'm picturing her as the receptionist from Monsters, Inc.
That's appropriate. Her name is Janice Partridge. And she is plump like a partridge. She's like a 60-year-old woman. So you walk inside, and it very much has the aesthetic of like any sort of cubicle farm from the 90s. It's very sort of office space-y on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Like not much of a reception area up front. You step out onto the 4th floor, and you see Janice beckoning to you from like, it's a larger than normal cubicle, but it's definitely not an office.
Mm-hmm.
She beckons toward you and says, "Sarah, I'm glad you're here.
Sometimes I can say the same.
Look, you never come into the office. You're all work from home, telecommute. You know,
That's
there's
right.
really something about being in these walls, the camaraderie."
Indeed, Janice.
All right, look, enough of the fucking BS. We both know that I'm looking to acquire something, and you have the means to help me acquire that thing.
Now we're talking.
I just have been running a little bit low on my speed supply recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear that you are a person to talk to if one were to want to acquire more.
I have been known to be a purveyor of such things.
Well, what's it going to cost me?
I think you know the normal market rate. Be grateful I'm not driving it up, because we're friends.
She's going to roll local expert to see how much she knows of the local market rate. She says, "Yes, I'm well aware. 10 euros a dose. I'm willing to buy 10 doses."
All right.
And that is the actual local market rate. She rolled quite well.
I'll want half up front.
Half up front? Do you not just have it on you?
Do I have it on me?
Yeah. You sort of seem like the type that would carry sort of an unsavory character.
Out of character, do I have it on me?
No.
Okay. Listen, I'm not some common drug peddler.
Give me a persuasion check to see if you can convince her to pay you half up front.
Okay. It was a nat 1 with the -5. It's like a 6.
She says, "Do you have the stuff or not? Or was this a waste of a call?"
Listen, I might not have what you had in mind on me right now, but I know just where to get it.
She sort of perks up a little bit when you say that, and she says, "Oh, you do you? Well, I just have the money that could pay you once you do get it."
Listen, I'm gonna need a little bit of collateral from you first.
Why? You can just resell it. That doesn't make sense.
Fine, Janice. Have it your way.
I often do. It's one of the perks of being the boss.
You had better check your dosages for impurity. Hold on, I'm making a note here.
Sure.
Just kidding, Janice. We're friends. I'll be right back, all right?
Yes, I'll be waiting here. It's not like there's calls to make at 1 a.m.
No, you wouldn't think so, would you?
And you head out. Where's your next destination?
Okay. Was I completely bluffing, or do I know where to normally get something like that?
Give me a local expert roll to see how well you know where to buy drugs.
Okay. Nice. 26.
You know that there is a poser gang that sells drugs in like this area of the city.
Mm-hmm.
So poser gangs are a specific type of gang where every member gets facial reconstruction surgery to look like a certain themed thing. So like
Okay.
there is one that is canonical where everyone looks like a member of the Kennedy family.
I love
That is not this group though. You know, it's a band of 4 males that call themselves the Beatles.
it. Okay. At what era?
Like mid 60s Beatles,
Okay.
like pre I Am the Walrus,
Yeah.
but post like major fame.
Cool. All right. So I know just where to find them.
Yes, you can go and head over and find them. They just are the ones who happen to be in this area of the city.
Yeah.
Give me a tracking roll, which is a skill you don't have. You can have a +2 to this roll based on like how well you had for this knowledge of who these people are and like where they would normally be.
Can you guess the number? It's 12.
12. It's 12 total. It's powerful. You are sort of wandering down the street looking for signs, and you do stumble across one of the members of the Beatles. You come across Ringo, who's on the street corner, but he's currently in a verbal altercation with some sort of like rent-a-cop security guard.
Do I know Ringo personally? Or like, how much do I know about the Beatles?
You know like of them pretty well. I would think that if you have sold to Janus before, you probably bought from them because they would be like the sellers in this local area, but they're probably not your primary sort of supplier.
Okay. What am I hearing as I get closer?
This rent-a-cop is basically trying to bully Ringo off the corner. He's like, you know, brandishing his gun, talking about like jurisdiction and how city council wants to clean up this area of downtown and direct like him needs to get out.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll get closer.
Okay,
And I'll
as you
say,
get closer, you see that the rent-a-cop is wearing a large, like gold, almost 1800 style sheriff star on their chest. Which give me an education roll.
sure. Education 17.
Okay, you recognize that this is a rent-a-cop from a sort of mercenary outfit. It's not mercenary, a like security outfit called Lone Star.
Lone Star. Are they
Yeah.
reputable or what?
As reputable as any like public security mercenary for hire company is.
Yeah. Okay.
He probably is not lying when he says that he has jurisdiction here.
Okay. So he does have jurisdiction.
Yeah, I think with that good of an education roll, or give me a local expert roll to see if you know who actually has a jurisdiction in this area.
Sure. 16.
Yeah, you're pretty confident that Lone Star would have jurisdiction here, that they've been hired for this area. There was probably like a pamphlet that got passed out at work a little while ago talking about like new security, like these people have the authority to arrest. This previous company, Mars, no longer has authority to arrest, that sort of thing.
And who's granting them authority?
The local district council.
Okay. The local
So
district council.
what sort of exists for government in this part of the city?
Gotcha. All right. Ringo, my old friend.
He turns and looks at you, kind of like exasperated. Then the Lone Star guard turns towards you and he says, "You with this gentleman?
I'm sorry, what did he say?
Are you with this gentleman?"
Is that what the cop is asking me?
"Yes, this is what I am asking you, me the cop with this voice.
Okay, yeah.
It is the voice that I the cop have.
That's your Lone Star. Okay.
It is destroying my throat. It really hurts. Let me stop."
Ringo and we go way back. I can vouch for him, sir.
Are you saying that you associate with this known illegal goods purveyor?
Oh, known illegal goods purveyor. Come on now. Surely you don't have any record of that.
Give me a persuasion check. This one's going to be kind of hard because they probably do have some records of that.
Okay. Persuasion.
I'm also going to need a luck check from you for being like sort of caught out.
Yeah, for sure. 17 on persuasion.
Okay. And
And luck is just going to be +7?
Yep.
12 on luck.
12, that's strike 2.
Wait, I thought the DC was 12.
Nope, it was 13 that time.
Dang, was it?
Yep, that was your 4th luck check.
Okay.
And then with a 17 on persuasion, that's enough to get him to sort of turn to talk to you. Like his demeanor becomes slightly less aggressive, but it's not enough to convince him to like give up the ghost and just let you go. And he says, look, we have on our records here that this individual has been selling illicit goods from this street corner on the regular for several months. We got the records over from the boys at Mars.
Oh, well, you can't trust the boys at Mars. They'll make up anything.
Give me another persuasion check.
All right. That's a 20.
It's a 20. You've actually tapped into something here. He does not like the boys at Mars. And as you like say, like, you can't trust the boys at Mars, he's like, no, you fucking can't. Those rats over there at Mars.
Right?
He sort of shakes his head. So you, as the player, and Sarah,
Yeah.
the nature of like illegal drugs in Cyberpunk is that in the early 90s, the Judicial Code of the United States was rewritten, and it was done in a way that basically all synthetic drugs are legal because they're not statutorily defined as drugs. All the old drugs like cocaine and stuff are still illegal. Now there is no more cocaine because the DEA killed it all with a bioweapon. But you would know that like selling drugs on a street corner is actually a totally legal business.
Okay.
So
yeah.
If Ringo is selling something illicit, they're either selling like weapons or illegal cyber parts or something like that, stolen goods, or he's just selling drugs and like the rent-a-cops have it wrong.
Okay. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Mars is just trying to line their pockets. Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them. Don't I know it? Look. Ugh, but I don't know. I sent out here to talk to this guy. He's selling all sorts of illegal shit.
He doesn't sell anything illegal. He only sells synths.
Ringo opens the coat of his. He's wearing like a Burberry style, like London fog coat, and opens it up like a fucking, back alley dealer, and it's just full of drugs. On the inside, he's like, "Look, yeah, all kosher, all legal."
Listen, Ringo here's on the level, okay?
Give me one last persuasion check to sort of sink this, bring it home.
Okay. Nat 10.
Nat 10, nice.
And +6 plus my persuasion. 26.
This guard sort of looks at Ringo, looks at the goods, looks at you, says, "We must have gotten bad intel from those Mars fuckers. All right, I'm sorry to bother you, sir." And he turns and starts walking away, and Ringo turns to you and goes, "Arminio, it's so good to see you. Thank you for the help back there."
Anything for a friend, right, Ringo?
Oh, is that what we're calling it now? If we advance to that step.
Call it what you want. You won't owe me a favor if you can help me out with a little thing.
Oh, anything for a friend. And by that, I mean a very limited favor that I may or may not accept.
That's the Ringo that I know. Listen, I'm looking for 10 doses of speed. Nothing too complicated.
He said, "I have 10 doses of speed in my fucking coat right here."
Yeah. Think you could get that to me? at a big discount?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check at a +4,
Okay.
since you did just like help him get out of this jam.
Yeah. 22.
He says, all right, it's not too big a deal, but you did help me, so all right, how about I let 10 ghosts go 30 euro. How's that sound?
You don't think you could do 20?
Well, I'm not made of fucking speed, am I?
Fine. Give me 8 doses for 20.
I'm gonna see if Ringo can do math.
Okay.
This is an int check for Ringo. He takes a look. You've also not taken stock of the weapons that you have, or I've not described them to this point.
Oh, yeah.
You have your pistol in
Mhm.
its side holster. You have a knife that's stuck in your boot, and you have 2 assault rifles that are strapped to your back instead of a cross pattern.
Wow.
He
Cool.
eyes those guns on your back and he says, how about this? You, he's going to roll an education check to like appraise these guns.
Okay.
He says, how about this? You give me one of those rifles on the back and 15 euro and we call it good.
How much do I think that rifle is worth?
You can give me a basic tech check.
Basic tech?
Yep.
5.
5. So you get a 9. So you have very little sense of what this would be worth. You know that like a random rifle is probably going for like 100 euro.
I still know that much?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or like a low end rifle is. You don't know how good of a rifle this is that you have.
Okay. You're out of your mind, Ringo. Don't try to swindle a fixer.
It's all right. Count it off for me then.
I'll give you one of these, and you give me 50 doses of speed.
That's bloody ridiculous. That's not even remotely close. You want to keep having a friendship, you have to at least humor that the business relationship is not purely a farce here.
Listen, I'm speaking to you as an equal. I did a little something for you, and you can do a little something for me.
Look, you give me both of them, and I'll give you, let's say, 40 doses of speed and another 20 of rage.
So, all right. 40 speed and 20 rage for both of the guns?
That's the deal, yeah.
Okay. Isn't there something a little bit more reasonable that we can come to?
He says, what, like smaller scale? I thought you were trying to supply up here.
Oh, I'm all about supporting local business.
You are one yourself, after all.
That I am. All right. Tell you what.
Oh, also, mechanically, you know that speed is a addictive upper that like boosts metabolism and focus, like sort of makes people more twitchy, but also like better able to do precise things if they're really focusing on it. Mechanically, it's a boost to your reflex stat, but it is addictive. Rage is a similarly addictive upper that makes you ignore pain and also temporarily boosts your body stat. It also gives you temp hit points, but the temp hit points are not the first thing to go. So like, it will let you take lethal damage and still be standing, but when it wears off, all the damage will immediately come back.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. How about this? If you're willing to pay 40 speed and 20 rage for both of these guns, how about 20 speed and 10 rage for one?
One last persuasion check. This is pretty reasonable, so it's a pretty easy.
Okay. 23.
He nods and says, yep, that'll do it. And he holds out his hand to shake on it.
I spit into my hand and shake.
Okay. You shake. He yells for Paul, and Paul walks out with like a duffel bag on his
Mm-hmm.
shoulder. Ringo like rifles through the bag, is pulling out like pills and syringes, like replacing it, putting some others in from his coat, and then eventually like zips up the duffel bag and hands it to you.
Pleasure doing business, Ringo.
I assume you hand him the gun too.
Yeah, I do hand him the gun.
Okay, you are down to one assault rifle. And now you have one duffel bag of drugs. And if you look inside, it does contain what you actually bargained for.
Okay. Be
I've
sure
got
to
that
let
written
the
down.
rest of the Beatles know that they can always count on Arminio, huh?
I think the band already knows, but it'll be a pleasure doing business with you next time.
Ta-ta.
Cheers. And they turn and sort of head back into the darkness. You
All
now
right.
have a bag of drugs. Congratulations. Drugs get.
Yes. Okay, note time.
Okay. You stop by the side of the road to write yourself a note. So you've now obtained your bag of illicit goods. What is your next step?
Okay. I'm heading back to my work building.
You are heading back to your work building. Go ahead and give me a perception check along the way.
Oh, all right.
Actually, let me roll one thing first before you do it.
Okay, sure.
Roll a luck check for me. This is not towards the timer. I just want to see what you get.
Okay. Good thing it wasn't towards the timer, because that's an 11.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. 14.
You thought you might have seen like a moving shadow in the distance tucked behind a building, but you're not sure. You don't know.
I suddenly recollect that I probably should have taken care of that sniper earlier. Wild.
Wild.
Anyway, I'll try to, let's see. Guess I should, how close am I to the AA building?
You're probably like 10 or 15 meters away. You can make it very quickly and easily.
Okay. I will run over there.
Okay. Give me a roll plus move. Let's see.
Okay. Just a roll plus move.
Yep.
Okay. 9.
9. Okay. Yeah, you are able to make it through the door. It's the same dumpy office it's always been.
Okay. All right. I'm going to actually, is there like a corner that I could duck around and wait?
Yeah, for sure. You could like, even this first floor, like there's a sort of reception area at the front. There's a desk of reception you could hide behind, or there's sort of a like cubicle farm behind it.
I think I will hide, let's see. What would provide me with a better vantage point?
The reception desk probably has a better view of the door. It's at the very least almost certainly heavier cover than the cubicles would be.
Okay. All right, I'll duck behind the cubicle and I will wait for 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Okay. I'm going to roll some stuff. The doors, you were sitting there behind and you hear the noise of the doors in front like slide open.
Okay.
You were still ducked down behind the, assuming you wanted to like be hidden, ducked down behind, or did you want to like
I want to be
your rifle at it?
I want to be completely ducked down hidden. I want my gun out, but I want to be hidden.
Okay, yeah, you are ducked down behind and you hear the door slide open.
Okay. At what point would somebody just casually walking through be able to see me?
They'd probably need to go like 10 meters inside because they have to go enough. The desk is sort of that like quarter circle shape, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they'd need to walk far enough past you that they could look back into the desk itself.
Okay, I am going to wait, listen for footsteps.
Give me a perception check. This will be pretty easy. And you get a +1 to it because of your ears.
14.
You hear footsteps move closer to you.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the sound of something being set down, and then the footsteps start moving away and the door slides back open.
Okay, I pop up from behind the desk.
Okay. Before the footsteps leave the room, you want to do that
Yeah.
fast?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As soon as they start moving away.
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
This one is kind of important, but shouldn't be very hard.
14.
You
Yeah.
pop up and see the. Do you say anything as you pop up, or you just stand up as silently as you can?
No, I stand up silently. Yeah.
You stand up, assault rifle raised, and you see the back of a figure in a courier uniform, walking out the door. You see that there's just a package that's been set on the ground by the front of the desk.
Courier uniform. Do the couriers normally work this late?
Yes.
Yes?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll let him go.
Okay. I'm going to see if the courier notices you. They do not. The
Okay.
figure walks out the door, and the door slides shut behind them. As the tension from this kind of dispels, give me a luck check.
Oh boy, this would be a hilarious part to black out.
You need a 14.
Oh no. 13.
That's it.
Okay.
And with that, standing behind this desk, assault rifle raised, bag of drugs on the floor next to you, your headset fuzzes out and falls forward.
I couldn't have asked for a better spot to black out, actually.